Out of nowhere, an iceberg crept up on us, throwing Captain Breadhook overboard. She swam over to the hole and plugged it up. Miraculously, she was able to breathe underwater because there was a mermaid close by. They'd be having magical powers. The mermaid also had some duct tape with her, so the ship was saved. How the mermaid lost her tail is another story. So she showed Captain Breadhook where the golden Oreo treasure was lying on the bottom. And just as she was reaching for it, a really scary sea monster chomped off her hand.
Well, that was unexpected. Ouch!
And once again, the mermaid came through.
Well, that came in handy. Thank you.
With a magical cuff that saved her life. And from that day forward, Captain Breadhook became ever more famous among kitchen pirates and sailors for saving the ship and her daring encounter with the seaweed snipper. Now let's go whip up some cream, you scallywags. We got some strawberries here. And if you like strawberries and cream, this is your dessert. So preheat your oven to 325 and come on board.
Arr, me hearties.
Start by whisking together 1 cup of cake flour and 1/2 cup of powdered sugar. Then take 6 eggs and separate them outside the bowl. Whites in here and the yolks in there. I find they separate easier if they're fresh out of the refrigerator. The 1/2 teaspoon of cream of tartar you'd be adding will help stabilize the whites. Then whisk them on medium speed, a number 6 on a KitchenAid, until they're foamy all the way down to the bottom and peaks form like you see here. Add in 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Gently add in 1/3 cup of powdered sugar. We kitchen pirates be calling this meringue. Now scrape down the bowl and make sure all that deliciousness is all mixed about. Look how beautiful that is. We scrape it into another bowl so we don't need 2 mixing bowls, and we don't need to wash this one out either. On high speed, whisk your yolks until they're nice and lemony color. They'll leave a faint ribbon when you lift your whisk like this. Whisk in another 1/3 cup of powdered sugar. Now here's the tricky part. Gradually and gently fold in your meringue. Don't be like you're reeling in Moby Dick, more like you're dancing with mermaids. And you only have to get it to about 90% of the way folded in, because the rest will fold in as you sift in the dry ingredients. And you got it. Thirds. Sift and fold in thirds. Hey, Miss Sarah, we should call this the thirds cake. We always be adding in 1/3 cup of this, folding in 1/3 of this, and you'll be wanting a 1/3 helping too. Yep, bring it up from the bottom and fold it to the top. Glop it into your tube pan just like so, and run a skewer around the edges and bottom. Swirl it around to help the batter get into the corners and pop any large air bubbles. And bake for 30 minutes in the center of the oven. When you take it out, turn it upside down to cool completely. It needs the ungreased sides to crawl up, and cooling it upside down keeps it from falling. It'll take about an hour to cool all the way. To get it out of the pan, run a flat knife or a spatula around the edge and in the small tunnel thingy in the middle. Scrape the bottom and place it onto your serving plate. Now for the strawberry filling, that's real easy. You just take 1/2 cup of strawberry jelly, nuke it for a minute, get it nice and hot. I like your idea of calling it the thirds cake. Mix in your chopped up strawberries, I like to chop them up small, leaving a few chopped in halves for decoration on top. The smaller pieces make it easier to cut the cake to serve. The big pieces will drag through your slice, leaving a big old mess. And the strawberry crunch topping, a pirate's treasure. So easy. It's all done in this baggie. Beat and pulverize 24 golden Oreos. And I'd be knowing where to get some more too. Add in a packet of strawberry gelatin powder and mix it in. Then add in your butter and mix that too. Very cool how it all comes together, huh? And for the stabilized whipped cream frosting, super easy. You start with 4 cups of heavy whipping cream, which is a whole carton, and a whole cup of powdered sugar. And get that whisk until it's nice and thick. See how it's starting to look like soft serve ice cream? They call that the ribbon stage. Now add in 5 tablespoons of instant pudding mix to reinforce the whipped cream. I have strawberry milkshake flavor here. It comes together really fast, so don't be messing around. Scrape down your bowl and make sure everything whisks together right. Add in some pink food coloring. I like bold colors. And now we just put it together. To cut it in half, I spin the cake while keeping the knife in place. I hardly put any pressure on the blade at all, and I just spin and let it cut in. This way helps me get a nice flat and even cut. The cake is so crumbly, I pipe it on using a Wilton 127 pedal tip. It's the largest and flattest tip I have. Pipe around the outer edges and the inner edges. We're making something like a moat for a strawberry filling. Spoon in your filling, and look how scrumptious it looks. I could just dive right into that pool. Place the top layer on and make sure it's level. We don't want any wonky cakes around here. Pipe on the rest of the frosting on the side and the top. Smooth it out to make way for the strawberry crunch treasure. So the treasure doesn't go all over the kitchen, I use a jelly pan to catch it. Pick it up and press it in. Use a pastry brush to wipe away the edges.
Hey, comrade.
Then spoon on the rest of the strawberries. The strawberries are so full of juice, they naturally make extra syrup. I put them in a strainer so the syrup won't run all over the crunch and down the sides and making everything all soggy. Then just dip the strawberry halves in the syrup and arrange them nicely on top. Man, that looks so good, I just want to dive right on in. And any of the leftovers can go right down in the hole. I've never had anybody complain, "Oh, I got too many strawberries." What a little surprise. And there you go. It looks a lot harder than it really is, right? Leave a comment. I respond to all your comments.